Hello, hello. Welcome to Reading Time. My name's Time, and this week we're reading The Mennyms by Syliva, Waugh. Let's get to reading. The Mennyms is a story about a multi-generational family who lives in a small town in England. This family has lived there for over 40 years when they receive a letter from their new landlord in Australia, asking if he can come and visit. Now, while this may not seem like a big issue, it turns out that there is one problem. The Mennyms are not like any normal family. In fact, they are all rag dolls. Now, the premise of this story is a little strange, and honestly, I was not looking forward to reading it because I do not really like dolls. It's one of those things where dolls can be a little unsettling sometimes, especially porcelain dolls for me. But I found this book to be delightful and it asked questions that I found to be interesting. It also did manage to make me cry and have emotions for this fictional ragdoll family. And because of all of this, I am giving it 5 out of 5 stars. This is actually surprisingly one of my new favorite books. I also understand that it's the first of a series, and I enjoyed it enough that I might end up reading the rest of the series later on. Now, there is a little bit of content to be aware of in this book. There is substance usage of a sort, except the Mennyms don't actually consume anything, and so they are pretending to drink alcohol or pretending to smoke. The Mennyms like to pretend quite a bit, and that's just how their life is. So there's no actual substance usage, but there is playing at using substances. There are also some scary elements of this book, and there is this idea of loss that they have to face and deal with, as well as the existential crisis of how are they alive? Are they actually alive? So there are a few kind of heavy topics in this book, but it's not too heavy, I would say. It's generally very enjoyable. Reading level wise, I would put this at a 4th through 8th grade reading level, although I do think it could be enjoyed outside of that as well. Around 4th grade, I think they would be able to understand some of the concepts that are gone over in the book. However, older students would be able to better appreciate these questions of existence and reality. These concepts of life, reality, and purpose are really interesting ones to explore, and something that you tend to see more in the genre of science fiction than you do in modern fantasy. But this book does a good job of exploring these topics. As I said earlier, the Mennyms do a lot of pretending in their day-to-day life. One of my favorite lines in the book said something along the lines of the mom character in the book was too busy pretending in the kitchen to notice something that was going on elsewhere. The pretending goes so far that they have a family friend who is also a rag doll who they pretend lives elsewhere in the town or in a different town, when in reality she lives in a cupboard in their house and she sneaks out through the back door to come and knock on the front door about once a week. There's really only one character in the book who faces the reality of their existence and refuses to pretend. Now, part of this may be because he's the only ragdoll who doesn't have a lifelike color. He is blue. Although that blueness may simply be there to just symbolize that he tends to be more somber than the rest of the family. They all know that they are ragdolls. They know they are different. They know that their life is not the same as that of other people's. And so they struggle with this idea of life, especially since they don't age either. So whatever time period in life they are in, they are stuck in that stage of life without being able to progress and grow. This becomes a major conflict in the book as the family has a couple of teenagers, and one of the teenagers wants to experience life. She wants to be able to change, and yet she is stuck in her personality and stuck in the angst that comes with being a teenager. Really, I cannot recommend this book enough. I was very surprised by it and had never heard of it before, but it was a very enjoyable book, very humorous and dry at times, but also very thought-provoking. Now for the poster square for this week, we are right here with a little doll figure. Let me know if you have heard of the Mennyms before, and if you have enjoyed the book. If you have read the book or the whole series, what did you think of that? Also, feel free to let me know down in the comments any recommendations you have for books or book-related content. If you are not already, feel free to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Facebook or Instagram for updates about what I'm reading. And as always, have a marvelous week and a wonderful read.